The most powerful force on earth is a human soul on fire. You have a deep ache in your soul for something more, to come alive, to let your passion pour from you like an endless well. When your passion comes alive, the magnificence buried deep inside of you is unleashed. Gifts and talents you never realized surface as your life unfolds like poetry. You can do hard things. I can show you how. This is Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, where I teach you how to heal yourself from the inside out. Hey everyone, Erin here. So this podcast is so special. I was able to get an interview with Poornima Sharma, who is the director of the retreats at the Art of Living Retreat Center, director of the programs there. And she's an Ayurvedic counselor. She has so much wisdom and love to share with everyone that our conversation went well over an hour, and I am just smitten by her. You could just tell how passionate she is about her work. So I hope that you really enjoy these two podcasts. I did break them up into two, and so this is a little heads up about that. But I hope that you enjoy this and have a fantastic week. And I will be back with you in 2 weeks talking about our How to Coach Yourself series. Namaste. So, Poornima, you're an Ayurvedic counselor. What's your favorite part about Ayurveda? I'm sure that's a loaded question.
I would make it simple, but why I hooked onto it is because it addresses the bio-individuality. By what I mean is not one size fits all.
Yes.
Yeah. If tomato is good for one person, it may not be good for other person. Right? So I understand the need of the modern nutrition where it says how many calories and how much nutrition. Definitely it has so much value. But at the same time, out of the categories that we can choose from, nature has provided us in plenty, a lot of variety, because everybody's needs are also very individual. So Ayurveda addresses based on the 5 elements. Everything in nature is made up of 5 elements, and so do we as humans, not just the body. Our mind also is made up of 5 elements, and it rains as and when it's needed. If you see somebody angry and throwing a fit, or frustration, is the fire element raining at the time.
Right.
So that's how, if we can see ourselves who we are, especially when you get your pulse checked, they can tell you what your nature of your body and mind is at the time of birth, by birth, which stays the same like your blood groups. AB, ABO doesn't change, positive, negative doesn't change, right? My own whims and fancies, just like that. By birth, what your body constitution is never changes. What can change is the imbalance. Either too much of that element or too little of that element can make somebody healthy or sick. So it really helps a lot, and it's a very scientific way of living. Ayurveda is really a way of living, the science of life. The literal meaning of it.
Yes, I have a book that says that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and the best part of it is I can find things right in my home. If I'm having indigestion, I can have cumin. If I'm having aches and pains, I can have ginger. Or if it is infection, I can use turmeric. So simple things can help you find healing. Even coughs and colds and simple things that you can do by yourself to support yourself.
Yes.
That's what the most I like about it. Another aspect is it helps me to understand myself, at the level of mind. So do I am able to understand other people also. If somebody is throwing a fit, I won't get mad at that. I would say, oh, it's this fire element who is dominating right now. And it's like you wonder about it. Fire element. Then you let it go. Let the other person settle down and they're fine. It's just the energy manifesting at the time. So if I have to choose in my team that I work with, it will be all, combination of, we call it Vata, Pitta and Kapha. In Ayurveda, Vata is the combination of air and space element dominating. Pitta is fire and water, and then earth is more, Kapha is more earth element with water, right?
Mm-hmm.
So based on that, Vata, I would have all three because Vata people are very good thinkers. They're ideas, they're like idea generating factory.
Oh yeah, I think my partner is very Vata. Yes, for sure.
Like, oh yeah, we can do this, we can do that. So doors do not close for them, right?
Yeah.
And Pitta are like go getters. Let's do it, make it happen. Idea is there. Who is going to implement it? Yeah. And if Vata and Pitta, they're too much fire and air space element too much, somebody needs to balance it out, right? So Kapha element downs there, earth more nourishing, more nurturing, more supportive. So it's such a beautiful combination. And when we understand people from that angle, we don't expect too much from them, and we can allocate the tasks accordingly that can get done in proper time and the way it needs to be.
That is so smart. Really, I mean, I'm just thinking of like my staff. An example I have is that I have two girlfriends, and like the three of us would hang out all the time, and it was just like so easy. We got along, and I'm pretty sure my friend Emily was more like Kapha, and I'm more like Pitta, and my friend Corinne is more like Vata. And we got along like peas and carrots. And then I remember when Emily wasn't around and me and the other friend hung out at first, it was so different. Like it was ungrounded. She was all over the place and I was like getting frustrated. And, but just like hearing you say that, like as far as like employees and groups and things like that, now I'm wondering about like my staff at Thrive, because right now we have such a great group, and I guess I wonder like what their doshas are.
That's fun element to look at, right?
Yeah, that's brilliant. So I wanted to ask you, like, how much, I have a question here, maybe I should go by, but can you tell us how diet changes for each dosha and why? It may be just briefly, or just for those who might not know too much. Usually my listeners know a little bit about yoga stuff, but they don't know too in depth.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, everything in nature and our body and mind, everything is made up of 5 elements. The food is also made up of 5 elements. And they have different properties. Some are, creating imbalance in one of the body type, or some other food can be more nourishing and nurturing. Say for Vata, if you eat more popcorns, popped food, gassy stuff, then it will increase your Vata, air and space element in the body out of proportion. But what could be nourishing is pumpkins, and sweet potatoes, anything that is sweet in nature and grounding, which is more in earth element, right? Right. So that's how, if you know your body type and the imbalance you are going through, by correcting your diet, including some things and avoiding some things with awareness, can help you in long run to nourish and nurture yourself and preserve your health.
That's it. That's really interesting. And how much like weight do you put on dosha? Because I like what you said, like, in Ayurveda, you like it so much because it's like, forget the word that you use, like bio-unique?
Individuality. Yeah.
Bio-individuality, yes. I really love that you said that, because I think, when you're first discovering the doshas and then you see the profile of each, it's a template, right? And anyone might know that. But if you didn't know like how to treat people as an individual, you might put too much weight on that. So I guess I wanted to see like your opinion, like how much weight do the doshas play in like when you're doing a consult with someone or something and they're trying to correct their diet or imbalances?
Ayurveda is based on doshas, Erin. So there's no question about how much weight.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you know your dosha by birth, what it is and what imbalance, so it just manifests like that. And once you know that, you can know how much and what to do. Even there are cleanse processes that can be done, like panchakarma treatment, right?
Yes, I've read about
Where
that.
you come, get your pulse check, get your, how we go for annual physical, right? When your blood work every year. I go for my pulse diagnosis every year, at least twice a year.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I know where I am at because my doctor, they can tell me, hey, be careful. You may get some throat disease in a year or two. So they are making me aware 2 years, 3 years in advance. They're so intuitive. The science is so amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm taking all the measures to not have that, right? And as versus the reports that we get, unless you are at a level of degree 4 or 5 in your biochemical markers, your tests won't give you that exact correct parameter where you are at right now.
Yeah, and especially blood tests because, whatever's floating in your blood at that time, like say if you took a multivitamin and then you go get a blood test, they're like, oh yeah, your potassium, like everything's great, like across the board, when you're actually like quite sick, and having deficiencies. And then what you said about, I love sciences. Like I used to work at a facility with an acupuncture, so I'm familiar with Chinese medicine, but it's, the elements, it's like, there's a lot of crossover. It's very similar. And being able to use more sort of like preventative, like, like you said, 2 years from now, you might develop something with your throat and your pulse is telling me that. And if, in like allopathic medicine, they have no idea about that, but they have like fancy machines and whatnot. But Ayurveda, like Chinese medicine, all these different like Eastern medicines, like have it figured out and have for a long time because the element of intuition and the, was it like Vijna, the inner like intelligence of the body is respected and honored and brought to the surface and used.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, why reports come out, that you are healthy and everything is good in your body, still you feel sick. You may have those biomarkers in your blood, but how much they are active or functioning at the level of the cell.
Cellular, yes.
So it's like cellular level is more important than anything, So it is like you. We have heard that you are what you eat, but Ayurveda says you are what you can digest.
I love that so much.
And not just at the level of just the digestive system. If food takes so long, few days for finally, if you ate a peach, it takes few days to final digestive process. Then it becomes ojas in your body, the vibrancy in you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So all the tissues that are getting healed and all of that, in Ayurveda, digestion goes to that level. And just by putting 3 fingers on your wrist, they can tell you what's going on in your body and which organ is out and which is malfunctioning.
Do you teach any of that at the Art of Living Retreat Center? Or is that like something specialized, like pulses?
I do some. I include some things in my other retreats that I offer because I have this background in nutrition and Ayurveda, and all different modalities of yoga, breathwork, meditation. So I create holistic retreats. So one very popular one was managing inflammation. So I do have on-demand program also on our website as well.
Can I put a demand in for it? A request?
Yeah, it's on demand. So you can just go and do it at your own pace.
Oh, okay.
Module.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so fascinating. I love this. Okay, let's see. I have another question. You described the gunas so beautifully at the retreat when I attended. I've heard so many people say to avoid tamas, but you seem to reflect similar sentiments as BKS Iyengar in that the body is tamasic in nature. Can you elaborate on working with the body in a healthy and balanced way? I know we talked a little bit, we talked more about Ayurveda then because you're just saying such beautiful things. But I guess maybe my mindset with that question was, like the body a lot of times can have resistance to change, right? And to like, for example, like doing a yoga practice. I know sometimes for me, I'm committed to my yoga practice, but my mind isn't always in my body, and so I'll have to I'll muscle test myself to say, should you go to yoga? And my body almost always says yes. I'll fall forward. And so then what happens is I go to yoga, and sometimes halfway through, my brain is like, wait a second, I thought that we weren't going to do this. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm here. So I guess maybe a more compassionate way to think about the body in Ayurveda. I don't know.
Yeah. No, very good question. Gunas, as we started to begin with, your question was, what are these? So basically, there are three, we call it gunas, also mean quality, the quality that bestows in us in various forms. And in Sanskrit terms, it's sattva, tamas, and rajas. Sattva is basically the high and energetic, enthusiastic, joyful state of mind. And body is also feeling light and energetic, and you're calm and peaceful, and things don't stick on you. That's the high form of life. Sattva, that quality dawns more. And rajas is more passion, activity. You want to achieve something throughout the day. So there's, in Ayurveda, there's a place for these qualities to manifest, so you can have balance in rest and activity.
Right.
Yes, a balance. If you are all the time resting, it doesn't give you enough motive to work for your things that you need to achieve, and life cannot go on like that.
Yeah.
But if you're all the time active, you cannot rest well. If you cannot rest well, next day you cannot function properly. So rajas is good to have during the daytime, and when you need to rest at night, that's when you need inertia also. Inertia basically means a little low energy. You're tired, exhausted, you need rest, right? But it can also pertain to laziness, ignorance in the mind when it is dawning during the daytime, when there's no place for it.
Right.
So, when we keep a balance, when we are following Ayurveda or yoga practices, meditation, breath work, it allows us to have that beautiful balance between these qualities or gunas. Inertia dawns at the evening after the sun sets. It starts coming in, and then at some point you will sleep. And when you sleep, you are so rested, you are so awake and aware, you can do all your activities during the day. And that makes you happy, right? Good balance, good activity, good rest makes you happy.
Absolutely.
Then sattva dance, right? And that can be balanced with all the practices that we have been discussing around, as well as your food and company. And the time of day. So many things has an impact on all these gunas.
I love that, what you said, how you digest, not what you eat, but how you digest. And I really love that in Ayurveda because, some people think that you have to, eat perfectly all the time to be healthy and, certainly eating a healthful diet, but for me, what has been a challenge and something I'm actually working on now is changing my habits of, sitting down for sure and eating and then slowing down, which is one of the things I really love about taking the retreat at the center is that, you get 3 meals a day. You don't have to worry about cooking it, but you can mindfully sit there and be in silence and really listen to the body's cues and signals. And it's kind of intimate in a beautiful way. And many people, are on the go, oh my gosh, my lunch hour is almost over, right? And then your body doesn't digest. And I find such a connection to if my life is so busy and then, my digestion will be off because it's I can't even digest my life.
Yeah. You remind me of one thing that I've learned from Sri. The teacher, my spiritual teacher we were talking about. So somewhere I heard him say, we spend half our health gaining wealth. And then later part of our life, we spend half our wealth gaining health.
Yeah, that's really good. Can't there be a balance, And
that is where Ayurveda talks about, how much you are taking in ahara, diet, in nutrition aspect. Modern way of understanding diet is what you eat through mouth and drink, right? But Ayurveda talks about the ahara as whatever you take in through the five senses. Not just the food that we eat through the mouth, but any thoughts, emotions, sensations, whatever you are gathering through your eyes and ears, everything. That is the diet. And how much you are putting in makes a big difference, because it is, again, state of mind that determines the quality of our life.
Yes.
What it means is, if you're upset and sad and you eat at that time, you cannot digest your food.
Yeah,
remember the breakup that might have happened. What do? Bring a big tumbler of ice cream and be numb and keep eating, or go and drink and have not such good food, maybe junk food we fill in.
Right.
And now body has to detoxify that also. It did not digest in first place, right? It created toxins in the body.
Right.
So it's just I remember you said somewhere your mind resisting to doing yoga. Body needs it.
Yes, absolutely.
Resistance at the level of the mind again, right?
Yeah.
So that is why we need to take care of our mind at all cost.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it can definitely dictate.
And then you see everything around it is happening for you. You organize your mind, your life gets organized itself.
I want to put your quotes on a t-shirt, Poornima. So let's see. It looks like we've gone over an hour, which is awesome. I'm so happy to talk with you. Can you tell just a little bit about Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, your teacher, and like the center, like maybe also for your services, like people can come to retreats with you? Do you offer Ayurvedic counseling online, like just so people, because I'm sure people are enamored by you the way that I was after listening to this. So how can they be in touch with you? And also maybe a little bit about Sri Sri.
Yeah, but Sri Sri, as we call him lovingly Sri Sri.
Yes.
He's a humanitarian leader, spiritual teacher, and ambassador of peace. And his vision is stress-free, violence-free society, and has united millions of people world over through service projects, through the programs that we offer, And so his aim is to see smile at everybody's face. And when the world is going on with so much trauma and turmoil, that's when, we just jumped in and saying, we never thought we will make these programs online, to tell you the truth. And as instructors also, we were like, oh my God, how is going to happen? These are so involved retreats, right? Like, will it have same impact, and how and why? And, it was just in the mind. And when we started offering it, so much healing has happened, I can't tell you. So we are here every week. We are here. We opened up again this year in April, and we have helped about, I guess so far we have helped about more than 50,000 people, and we do every month we do about 25 to 30 retreats, depending on the groups that would like to come here, like-minded people with. One thing is, we do not offer it's a drug-free, alcohol-free, smoke-free environment.
Yes.
And all vegetarian meals. So if any group who can, enjoy that, they are more than welcome to come, anybody for that matter. But you may have seen the diets are very sustaining, right? So it's not that you will miss something. At the same time, it's more healing and soothing, we can definitely say that. And it's another way of living. So many people say, hey, I didn't know vegetarian eating could be so fun and so nourishing.
The food there, I mean, it was brilliant. The food that I had there was delicious, like no complaints at all. I thought it was creative, and there were, you can tell that the meals were created with people who aren't usually vegetarian in mind, meaning like it wasn't just like some lettuce leaves and zucchini, there was like falafel and like different foods that would kind of give you almost like that real like filling aspect that I think people get from meat. So I like the food, the atmosphere, like the Veda halls, the 4 Veda halls, and we even got to peek into like the big hall, which was absolutely gorgeous, and the energy of that place. Like you can just tell, like your energy, the energy of the Art of Living Retreat Center, you can tell when people are doing something right. Yeah.
Thanks for saying that, Erin. I'm glad you had that experience and we were able to create that for you. Yeah, it's all about, the serene environment, the mountains that we have here, that all adds value to it. When you step out from your day-to-day routine and somewhere you go where it could be more supporting for you to go inwards without caring for any other things around you, that's when you get even better healing.
Yes.
So, and I think this center is offering that, and time and again, many people are coming back saying this was the best thing I could do to myself. Recently, I was teaching a silence program, and this person said, she was 73 years old, and she's like, oh my God, this was the best ever in the 73 years of my life. Wow. And this lady lives in Hawaii.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, that's incredible.
It's just, we would love to, we would like to invite anybody and everybody, to come, rest deeply, rejuvenate yourself, revive, revitalize. And in terms of reaching out to me, I can share my number. It's 503-724-7742. Although I live in North Carolina, still I'm carrying my number from Oregon, where I used to live before, and my email poornima.sharma@artofliving.org. But if you would like to know more about the programs that are offered here at the Retreat Center, it is aolrc.org, artoflivingretreatcenter.org. So, and this place is situated in the midst of Blue Ridge Mountains, and beautiful scenery, beautiful sunrises, and you see all the 4 seasons here, which amazes me every single day. It's such a beautiful day here.
Yeah, I feel like I experienced at least 3 of them while I was there, from the morning to the night. All right. Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for being generous with your time and with your knowledge. And I am proud to be one of the people that has had experience with you, gone through your program. And after this, I kind of want to go online and book my next one. I love that you guys offer retreats all around the year. And so any time frame you can find that works for you. And I feel like the cost is, affordable for people. It's not too much. So just thank you so much for the work that you're doing, Poornima.
Thank you so much, Erin, for having me. You're so kind and so joyful to be around, and I really enjoyed the dialogue with you.
Oh,
thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast and if it's helping you, please consider writing a review. You can go to iTunes or Google Play, go into the search bar and type in Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, scroll down, and you can leave a review. This helps other people to find me as well as bumps us up in the search ratings. Also, this podcast is sponsor-free, so that means we don't receive anything for doing it. If you feel so inclined and this podcast is helping to support you and you want to return the favor and help to support any production costs of the podcast, feel free to give a donation to a Venmo link, Thrive Yoga Fit, or PayPal, Erin@erincoach.com. If you don't have the means, don't worry about it. We're not going anywhere. You're all good. But if you would like to give back, you can give back in those ways. Last thing, we have a coaching certification coming up. And it's 7 days of an intensive work, followed by a 3-month mentorship. You will not find another teacher that's more passionate and dedicated than I am to my students and their learning. And not just their learning, but the application and how they show up in their life. If you've been listening to this podcast and it's had a huge impact on your life, just imagine what it would be like to spend 7 intensive days with me and then a 3-month mentorship. You can check that out at thriveyogafit.com/coach-certification. Again, thriveyogafit.com/coach-certification. Thank you so much. Namaste.